Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So yesterday we did a video talking about Hero 28 and its expected release this week. That all stands to be true still, however I did say in that video that there's a lot of Hero 28 Calm Before the Storm tweet theories that were just kinda bad. You had the obvious stuff, it could be Hammeh, it could be Junker Queen, but the speculation also brought us into some very unique places that I just couldn't get behind the theories and ideas that were being thrown around. But today I actually found a really interesting theory that I do want to show you guys on how the picture tweeted by Blizzard earlier this week means a whole lot more than this is just the next hero. I believe alongside a few people on Reddit that it could actually be signaling at Blizzard's content calendar schedule over the sort of next 3 or 4 months. Before then though, I do want to actually ask what people think the next hero is going to be. A lot of people saying Hammeh, a lot of people saying Junker Queen, a lot of people saying neither of those and it's something else. But I did want to get a good idea, however, on how many people think which of each hero. So I've actually put a poll together on our Twitter account at OW Central to find out what people really believe this next hero is going to be. So either do let us know in the comments below if you think it's going to be Junker Queen or Hammeh or somebody else. Or do let us know in the Twitter poll because it does give us a good idea on what you guys believe will be the next hero. And then once we actually know who it will be, we can all laugh at the people that are wrong. How's that sound? But getting into today's video, I do want to start off by saying that it is purely speculation. There's no new information to work with here. This is just a lot of the sort of Reddit theories that I've seen that I can get behind the idea of. But there's an issue there in itself. See, players could be actually trying to justify this theory in hopes that it is true. It's a theory that people are getting very excited about, myself included, so it may seem kind of far-fetched. We might be just trying to connect the dots a little bit in the hope that we're right. Because the theory in itself is that everything on that picture is more of a content calendar of what we will be seeing over this period of time. See, we've had theories in the past that have been a little bit vague to begin with, you know, the one with Effie for Orisa. There was no mention of who Orisa was in that first hero tease for her, and it's the same with Brigitte too. There was a lot of information about Emre and how Torbjorn lost his arm and Reinhardt ended up naming Brigitte, but there was no real mention of her in it. And as I said, the same with Effie. It was all about her as a character, yet it turns out that she wasn't really important to the hero's actual edition. And this is a similar case in this tease too, but the issue is there's so many moving parts going on, it's referencing several different things, whereas the other teasers that we've seen in the past have been very one-dimensional. They've been vague, sure, but they haven't hinted at several different things to try and confuse the audience. And I feel like this is an element of Blizzard trying to really hype up the confusion and the hype surrounding Junker Queen and Hammeh the community have made for themselves, then maybe they just want to be really coy and try and get people talking on who actually the next hero could be. In that case, they've been very successful, but there's just loads of stuff in here that doesn't need to be. Just to sort of round it out, you have hints to Hammeh and Horizon Lunar Colony. You have stuff to do with Junkertown, Junker Queen, and one of her mechs in there too. But you also have Lucio on here with a football on the ground, with it all being based on Rialto. You also have some Overwatch archive posters on the left, and it's basically in the same style as King's Row with all of the No Omnics signs everywhere. But there's nothing that connects all of these. Maybe Hammeh is somewhat connected to Junker Queen, sure, but that doesn't explain why Lucio's on there, or why we're based on Rialto. And I don't inherently believe that this is just Blizzard trying to be as vague and as confusing as possible. I do feel that this all means something. Also, the term Calm Before the Storm seems a bit odd too. So what people on Reddit and what I myself believe is that this is more of a hint to what we're going to be seeing. So what if, and this is where the speculation comes in, that this is Blizzard actually changing up their content schedule? That everything in this picture is going to be added into the game or changed in some fashion to do with the lore, a new hero, new maps, new cinematics. That everything in this picture is basically Blizzard going, here's what's coming up over the summer period. Maybe we could be seeing Hammeh and Junker Queen as new heroes over the next couple of months. Blizzard have said they don't want to add heroes at the same time. They did that in the closed beta with D.Va, Genji and Mei, and since then they've said they don't want to do it again. But instead they might be adding these heroes quite close to one another, or maybe the stuff with Horizon and Hammeh is to do with the Horizon rework that will be going live fairly soon. Blizzard have never reworked a map before, so maybe they're not just going to be like, oh, this is still Horizon, the lore is the same. I was speaking to Hammeh about this actually, and he said maybe Lusheng Interstellar, which is all of the stuff on Lijiang Tower, retakes Horizon, hence why it looks different. So the rework is somewhat tied into the lore there, to sort of explain why the map has changed its layout. So maybe Junker Queen's a new hero, the Horizon changes, Lucio could be Lucio Ball or a cinematic for Lucio. Rialto might be involved in the game somewhat too. It could be new heroes, it could be new maps, it could be new cinematics. All of this stuff can be tied into this one picture, as I don't believe it's just as cut and dry as this is the new hero. Blizzard have never done this before. It's been a hero every 4 months, but the game has been out for 2 years. The audience is dropping off, there's no doubt about that, whether it's for better games or just because they're bored of Overwatch. It's fine, it's natural, the game has been out for 2 years. So it would really surprise me for Blizzard to actually change up their content schedule. Instead of releasing 3 heroes a year, they release 6. This is the first hero edition since the 2-year anniversary, so it would surprise me if Jeff Kaplan and the rest of Blizzard went, let's change up this. You know, the game has been out a while, we need to change up our content schedule to be more engaging, to add more constant updates and more content to the game in these periods. Calm Before the Storm, the game has been very quiet recently, there's not been a lot of news to talk about, so this does hold true with the whole content schedule of Overwatch. Not only would we be getting a new hero, we could be getting another Lucio cinematic, we could be getting a tease, I guess, maybe towards Lucio Ball, hence why Lucio's on there. We could be on Rialto because it could be related to Antonio, or some other Talon stuff going on there. It could be the first time that the story has progressed in a long time, and it starts on Rialto with Talon. Maybe Hammeh is the next hero, but Junker Queen will follow shortly after that. Maybe next month or the month after that. Maybe they're adding more heroes as time goes on. And instead of this just being Hero 28 is in this picture, but you have to guess which one it is, as more of a whodunit approach. But in fact, it's everything on this picture is going to be added into the game. At some point, this is the Calm Before the Storm. As soon as Hero 28 has been launched, shit is going to hit the fan, basically. And you can start to understand from there why people are getting really excited about this theory, because it just means more stuff in the game. A game that the story hasn't really gone anywhere, the hero additions are few and far between, and Blizzard's approach has been the same for a long time, that it might be getting a little bit stale and they may want to spice it up a little bit. But as I said, you can start to understand why people are getting behind this theory when there might not be too much with it. But Blizzard do like their patterns and their structure and their schedules, but this doesn't really fit any of it to an extent. But do let us know what you think. When it comes to theories, I do want to sort of highlight Hammeh's video that he's done on it, going over the stuff with Junker Queen and Hammeh. I do recommend you watch that. Lots of really interesting stuff in there, but I do feel that this is one of the standout theories that I really like and I want to get behind, and I do want to sort of present it to you guys too. So do let us know what you think in the comments below of it, whether you think I'm crazy or whether you think there might be some justifiable reason behind what I believe and what people on Reddit believe too. I'll link those in the description too, those Reddit threads going on about the same sort of theory. But thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you next time.